Hi everyone, Craig here, and welcome to episode 6 of season 3 of the Tiny Tropical Garden. And finally, all of that rain relented and I've managed to get out into the Tiny Tropical Garden to do some actual gardening. I've also opened the parcel to see what's inside this box I teased you with last week. And I will also be doing a seed giveaway in collaboration with my friends over at the Tropical Roof Garden. And their amazing rooftop garden will be our feature garden from the Tiny Tropical Tribe this week. Stay tuned. First things first. Don't worry, I'm not going to keep you waiting any longer. Let's see what's inside this parcel I've ordered from Farmer Gracie. A nice little envelope. I'm guessing this is my invoice, but you're not interested in that. Let's see what's actually in the box. That's right, I finally ordered some caladium tubers. These were so hard to find anywhere in stock, so as soon as I saw that Farmer Gracie had them, I ordered several straight away. And I've gone for a bit of mix and match with the varieties. I've not grown caladiums before, but I have seen so many cool ones online that I just wanted to give a few of them a go and see which work best for me. The two that I'm most looking forward to seeing are the Red Flash, which Tropical Plant Addict was growing on Instagram, and this Friday Hempel, which looks really interesting. I have to say, these caladium tubers have come really well packaged, and I'm impressed. But at the moment, there's really not that much to see. No roots, no sprouts. I'm going to pot these up in the next couple of weeks, and I'll show you how I do that in a coming video, so keep your eyes peeled. But I'm happy I finally got my hands on some of these. Right, let's do some gardening. Two factors have stopped me getting out into the garden that much this winter. One is that ridiculously wet weather we've been having, and two is the fact that I finally started doing our house up instead of giving all my time to the garden, which means I'm now struggling to find time to get out there, and I think it's got a bit messy, so I'm going to start by tidying up the Tiny Tropical Garden. And the first thing that needs sorting is this messy collection of bamboo canes. I'm storing them to build trellises and for when I turn my shed into a jungle hut, but they're the first thing I see when I look down the garden, so I just need to pick them up and lean them against the fence. And my poor patio has become a bit of a dumping ground, with old pots, dead plants, things that I'm planning to work into projects, all just chucked around. I'm not 100% sure why I'm keeping these houseplant casualties. I think it's time I said goodbye. But I will keep hold of these old broken pots because they really help with drainage when I'm planting into a container. But there's no excuse for the rest of it, and I'm showing you guys all of this because every garden gets messy from time to time, and it just needs a good sort out, and the Tiny Tropical Garden is no different. I'm also going to swap the two seats around in our garden. This one was at the end of the garden, and I feel like the colour and the detail was drawing your eye straight to the end of the garden and shortening its appearance. But in its new spot, right against the back of the house, it will be a great place to sit, hopefully surrounded by all of the edible plants we're going to grow into the pots, and you'll catch that lovely afternoon sun. And I've moved that upcycled old stick insect enclosure that I'm going to be using to start seeds right to the back of the house on the other side of the garden. Here it will get plenty of sun, but not too much to fry the seeds. And it's actually been a great instant structure for protecting my exotic rhizomes through this wet and cold winter. You can see some of them are actually starting to shoot. Okay, so you might be watching this thinking he's put that way too close to that little Tetrapanax. And you're 100% right. But I'm just going to leave it be and see how we go. And I've moved this carved wooden sun lounger that I rescued from rotting at the back of another garden down to the far end of our garden, and I think this looks much more jungly than that blue frilly bench we had before. And because it blends in with the shed, you start looking at the plants instead of having your eyes drawn straight to the end of the garden. And we did have a tree of heaven in a pot right at that end of the garden. It didn't really do that much, it's extremely pot bound, and we bought it for £10 in a winter sale from the local garden centre. I've pulled it out of the pot, and this is where my young fig tree is going to go. In time, it should grow to a size that covers this far end of the garden and gives us privacy as it grows up and over the fence, as well as giving us loads of delicious exotic fruits. Now on to the next task. This evergreen variegated hebe is a plant that I use as an edging plant on my raised bed. This was grown from cuttings that my uncle gave me, and every year it puts on lots of growth, but has a tendency to get leggy, and you can see there's new shoots down at the base of the plant. I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to give these a hard chop to encourage them to shoot right from the base and bush out again. I did this to them last year, and it worked a treat, so hopefully it's not too much of a risk, but it does look worse before it's going to look better. But you can see now it looks as though I've planted young, healthy plants that will grow nice and full and sturdy for the coming summer season. And with me being me, I can't say no to the opportunity to take some cuttings and get more plants for free. So using the trimmings, I'm going to prepare some cutting material. First, I'm going to select some of the healthier shoots from the plants. This one looks good as it's got fresh new growth coming from the tip of the stem. I'll cut it to length, 2 to 3 inches, and then strip off all of the lower leaves, which I can't do with one hand, so bear with me. I've just kept enough leaves on the top of the cutting material to help feed the plant as it roots. And now, I'm just going to use my tried and tested method of putting several of these cuttings around the edge of a larger pot. And here's my pot. They should all be rooted in the next 2 or 3 months, then I can divide them, pot them up or plant them out. I'm going to keep a couple, and I'm not going to say whether my mum or my sister can have the others, because apparently when I say, it causes fights between them, so I'll just leave the pot somewhere and they can fight it out. I'm also going to be brave with this Melianthus major, or peanut butter bush. This tall stem has grown so leggy that it's flopping right over the deck. And although it's about to flower, there is lots of new growth at the base of the plant. So I'm going to do a bold cut with this one too. I'm cutting the large main shoot out. It will open up the plant, let all of that new growth grow away, and give the salvia and the rose much more light. I think it's also time for me to tidy up the Fattias. I really do love these plants. They're in the Aralia family, and all Araliaceae plants have these really cool flowers and berries which I think look like fireworks bursting. Only the standard Fatsia japonica has kept its berries. Some of my variegated plants seems we've lost the berries. I don't know whether the birds have eaten them or they've just dropped off, but it's just left bare stems, and I think they need tidying up. Especially on this beautiful Fatsia spider's web. I think it's just distracting from those lovely new white leaves. So out come the secateurs again. If you look closely, you can see that the flower spike emerges just behind 2 new growth points, so I'm going to be careful not to damage those. I'll just chop out the main flower spike and then trim away any leftover material that I don't want to keep on the plant. In my opinion, it's left the plants looking much tidier, and it's given these growth points room to grow, but this one is heading out towards the path, so it could be a problem. I'll leave it be and we'll see what happens. I love ferns. I think it's hard to find a plant more jungly than a fern, and they come in so many genus and species. Now I've got a pair planted at the stream at the far end of our garden, and I don't know what type of fern it is, but they need tidying up. If you come in and look closely, you can see that there's new fronds waiting to unfurl. So if I get the old material out of the way, they'll have plenty of room to grow. And after I've given the ferns a tidy up, I'm very happy to say that there's not just one knuckle of fronds waiting to unfurl. There's 2, which means these plants are starting to settle in and bulk out in my garden, which is great because, as I said, I love ferns. And I'm going to start adding more exotic and tropical ferns to the tiny tropical garden. I've already got this one, which is a very young, very small Woodwardia radicans, which will grow to have enormous fronds, and it's looking happy because it's putting out new growth. Keep your eyes on this one, it's going to get absolutely massive. And after a bit of a tidy up around this end of the garden, I'm pleased to say that my spotty dotty appears to have survived winter outside in the boggy clay soil and has put up fresh new leaves. You can see the slugs love this one, so I'm going to get some coffee grounds around the base of the plant to deter them. But I really didn't expect this plant to survive in my very boggy clay soil. And it's great news and encourages me to experiment a little bit more. And just when I finished gardening, almost as though it's meant to be, the sun shone where I've just put that bench. So it's time to take a seat and just appreciate what's happening in the garden at this time of year. I'm thankful for the structure that the evergreen shrubs like this Fatsia polycarpa have given me through the winter months. And the spring flowering plants like these hellebores, they've given us that dose of colour and excitement early on in the year. And they're still going strong. All of my arid succulent plants at the top end of the stream are putting on new growth and are looking surprisingly happy considering how much rain we've had this winter. And every time I go out into the garden at the moment, you just get hints of all of the herbaceous perennials peeking up from the soil, a sure sign that summer is on its way. At this time of year, it is all too easy to get stressed with tidying, mulching, sowing seeds, weeding. Don't forget to take time and just sit down and appreciate what you've done. And with that said, let's sit back and relax and enjoy the hard work that's gone into one of the gardens that's been sent in to feature from our tiny tropical tribe. This week's feature garden is the Tropical Roof Garden in Malta. It's so easy to forget when you look at the dense jungle planting on this exotic roof garden that it's planted high on the top of a roof in Malta. Just look at those skyline views. Enormous leaves from ensetes and this amazing black-leaved alocasia just really add to that lush tropical feel. And the use of different banana species seems to be something that is a key feature in this tropical roof garden. Ricinus plants have been used for great, quick, jungly leaves, and they contrast so well against the green leaves of the bananas. And look at this, the bananas flowered, something we all get so excited about in the tiny tropical tribe. It's really a sign that your tropical plants are happy. And I really like the detailing in this garden. The ornaments sit so perfectly nestled amongst the plants, and there's even a fish tank on the roof, which I think is a great touch. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, the Tropical Roof Garden are doing a giveaway from one of the seeds that they sell on their very well-stocked website. So if you'd like a chance to win a packet of seeds of Ensete superbum, all you need to do is comment below on this video telling me why you love being part of the tiny tropical tribe. The guys at the Tropical Roof Garden have said that they will post the seeds worldwide, so the competition is open to everybody. And I will pick the winner at random as part of next week's video. And don't forget to go and check out all of the other seeds available at the Tropical Roof Gardens shop. I've linked their website in the description below. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and to Tropical Roof Garden for sending in the pictures and sharing their seeds as part of this competition. Don't forget to become part of the Tiny Tropical Tribe and hit that subscribe button. I will see you all next week. Good luck!